Hey guys, Joel Nivens here.
Cody Turner.
We're with the Bowling Green Bourbon and Brewfest.
We wanted to spend some time with you today to show you how to actually get some of the better notes or how to properly taste bourbon.
Yeah, so with step one, what we're going to do is we're going to pour a little bit of bourbon in there, but we're not going to drink it all. We're going to take a very tiny sip. What that's going to do, that's going to numb our taste buds so you don't get that burning sensation throughout the next few steps of the process. After we take our first sip, or our tiny first sip, you're going to wait 30 seconds and let that sit and actually then move on to the next step.
So, Joel, what are we tasting today?
This is a Four Roses Private Selection. It is a recipe OBSQ. If you want to learn about those codes or those recipes, just go on and watch one of our other YouTube videos and you can check it out.
So is this going to be available at the Brewfest?
This will be available at the Brewfest.
And do we have more than one version of this? I understand Four Roses, there's like 10 different recipes you can get out of the bottle.
There is 10 different recipes. We're working to get all 10 this year, which is pretty rare stuff to get all 10.
All right, well, we've got our bourbon poured. We're going to take that first tiny sip and then let it sit for 30 seconds. So, Joel, can you tell us what is the reasoning behind doing the 30-second wait?
Yeah, it really let the flavors really kick into your taste buds. That way, when you go into the next one, you're actually going to be able to taste it, and this numbing sensation of the burning won't have the effect on the next taste.
So that first taste actually stops the burning sensation or the burn that you get with a lot of bourbons. Is that correct?
Exactly.
All right, so it's been 30 seconds and we're ready for the next step. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, next step is we're going to go ahead and drink some bourbon.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, that's pretty damn good.
It is very good. Four Roses is, in my opinion, the most underrated bourbon.
I can see that.
Especially the private selections, because you can really know what kind of recipes you're getting.
Yeah, so I can say I have not really looked up the chart to know what the build is actually supposed to taste like. That's super smooth. Again, I think going to that first step kind of takes the harshness out of it, which is always very helpful. Very caramelly, kind of oaky flavored as well. What are you getting out of that?
I also get that, a lot of oaky. I also got a little bit of fruit in there. I'm interested to see, because I don't exactly know. I know the mash build is the, I think B is the heavier on the, less on the corn, heavier
Gotcha.
on the rye. So I'm interested to see that. I can tell a little bit of the rye, but the Q, I'm not 100% sure what proprietary yeast that is. If that's more on the fruity side or more on the oaky side of things. But I feel like it's more oaky than anything.
There's actually a third step in this process, which can help bring out even more flavors from the bourbon. And that is to just add a couple of drops of water to your bourbon as you drink it. We do happen to have some water here, and I think we're going to try that with this bourbon and see if that alters the flavor.
A lot of bourbon enthusiasts say that adding just a drop or two of water to your bourbon, it actually brings out a lot more of the flavor. Some recommend it. Almost everyone does it with, I think, Scotch. But yeah, I highly recommend it with bourbon as well.
Cheers.
Oh, you can already smell the difference.
Wow.
A lot more fruity.
Yeah.
A lot more fruity.
Almost, I'd almost even say it's sweet with water in
Yeah.
it. Like very sweet with water in it.
Yeah. I'm amazed how much water that difference. It was crazy.
Night and day, man.
Like it was a really oaky before, but I knew that Q was. I knew it wasn't the spice.
Sure.
So I was like, I need to push it to the other side a little bit.
Well, when we first had it without the water in it, I thought it was still really spicy, even though we did the 30-second tempering bit. But as soon as you add the water to it, it's just gone. The spice is just completely gone. Yeah, very, very good bourbon. So once again, the Bourbon and Brewfest is October 21st, starting at 1 p.m., noon if you're VIP, at the Bowling Green Ballpark.
We're really stepping up our bourbon game this year. We have some phenomenal VIP bourbons. We're going to be having a lot of Four Roses up there, but then we're also going to have a lot of the more rare bourbons up there this year.
Like Orphan Barrels. And,
both Orphan Barrels that we can get our hands on. Right now we've got 2 Knob Creek specialties. Weller, I don't know if a lot of you have heard of Weller, but it's kind of hard to get your hands on these days. I highly recommend getting those VIP tickets. We're already about 1/3 of the way sold out. We sold out last year.
We're anticipating a much bigger, better event than even last year. And those of you who were here last year, and then also the first year, you've probably noticed that the event's grown tremendously. Thank you for your support. Thanks for helping us do that. We look forward to seeing you.
Yeah. Buy your tickets at bgbrewfest.com.